Hey guys, welcome to Denny's. Today we're going to be jumping into the weekly loot cave. This is the weekly series where I give you guys the most efficient farms for some of the most notable reactors each and every week in the first Descendant. If it's something you want to see more of, subscribe if you feel that I've earned it, like the video if it helped you out. Support me as an Exxon creator. It will be in the pinned comment in the description below. You have to renew your support, guys. So if you've already supported me before, for some reason it expires. So if you want to support me as an Exxon creator, you can do so by clicking that link and doing that. Also, follow me over on Twitch. We're live there. We're probably going to be live after this video goes live tomorrow morning. So definitely follow me over on Twitch. And then let's jump right into the weekly loot cave this week. All right, and starting off with the reactors available this week, we're going to jump into Viessa first. So specifically Viessa Cold-Blooded. This is going to be available from the Vermilion Waste in the Agna Desert, Chill, and Tech. Now, this is going to be a Valby Outpost farm. For Viessa, this is going to be the Cold-Blooded build. Now, as far as the Cold-Blooded build goes, it is a very safe and a very fun build to use, especially for killing Infernal Walker. We're going to be going tech for our blizzard damage specifically with the cold-blooded build, so we're not really prioritizing any damage on our fusion abilities, obviously. As far as rolls go for this guy, mainly just want to make sure you get that extra tick so you can get either cooldown or duration for one of the rolls, and then the other roll I always recommend doing either, if you're bossing, obviously damage to Colossus. If you're mobbing, you can do, the tech boost will give you a little bit more damage from Viessa's abilities, and it's a really, really fun build, and it's a really, really good way to get the reactor this week, so I definitely wish you guys luck with this one. And then following up from that, kicking it off with another Viessa reactor, this is going to be the reactor dropping from Rockfall, located in Sterile Lands, one of our favorite missions here, the anticipated ambush point. Now, this is a chill infusion reactor. Obviously, there is not a lot of use for this with Viessa, you would say. However, if you use the Coldsnap Watch Transcendent mod with Viessa, this is a very fun mod to use for mobbing, and this is going to boost the damage on that. So this is going to be for a Coldsnap Watch build with Viessa. This is one of the best places to get the reactor, obviously, this week. A very good farm. As a benefit, it's going to also drop a bunny reactor. This is the static farm for bunny reactors. If you guys wanted to get a bunny reactor as well, you could go for 2 birds with 1 stone. Really solid farm this week. It will most likely be a decent farm each and every week. However, this is going to be for the Coldsnap Watch. Specifically, as far as rolls, I would say you're going to be looking for fusion boost as well as cooldown, or obviously, you could go for Colossus damage. I don't think this is really a Colossus build, so I think fusion damage and cooldown is going to be a solid way to go for this build, just because of the quality of life and damage boost it gives you. So good luck with this one. Okay, and the next reactor is going to be dropping from Sterile Land, specifically the repository zone in Sterile Land. This is going to be a non-attribute and dimension reactor dropping from the Valby Outpost farm here. Now, what I do want to say about this farm really quickly is they did nerf this farm a little bit. Whenever the boss goes into his phase, he actually doesn't spawn the spheres anymore. He spawns mobs around him. Obviously, this means more loot for us. However, it also means it's a little bit easier to kill the boss, so you're going to have to tone down your range on Valby for this one. But this is obviously dropping for Gley, Jaber, Valby, if you're doing, obviously, Valby's Dimension build, which isn't as popular anymore thanks to the new fusion, her first ability getting some love. But this is a really good week for Gley specifically, obviously, with the Massacre build. And then Jaber is kind of the long term. Not really looking to get a Jaber reactor probably yet, because we don't really know what's going to be good for him once they do finally change him, or buff him, rather. I do think cooldown and duration are going to be really good for Jaber. But yeah, if you're looking for Gley, more or less you want to go for cooldown and Colossus for bossing. For mobbing, you just want a dimension boost and non-attribute boost, or dimension boost and cooldown if you want to go for that. And then as far as Valby, if you're doing the, obviously, the Valby Outpost farm with her dimension ability, you can get one of these with just cooldown and duration, increase the quality of life of it, make it so you don't have to run as much cooldown and duration in the build itself. But yeah, solid week for non-attribute and dimension here at the repository. Recently nerfed a little bit there, but again, a really good week for it. I did also want to fit in a small little honorable mention here for Sharen. There is no really good Sharen farms this week, so if you're farming repository this week, you will get some electric and fusion drops from the Valby Outpost here, obviously at the same time as going for these non-attribute dimension ones. So I wanted to throw that in here for Sharen really quickly, and then obviously for Sharen with the rolls, pretty much fusion and crit damage, or if you want to go for something like crit damage and cooldown, that is what I found to be most enjoyable for mobbing. And bossing is fusion, boost, and Colossus damage. That is going to be Sharon's little honorable mention real quick in there. Okay, and the next reactor is going to be for specifically Yujin and Valby. This is going to be a non-attribute and fusion reactor dropping from the Frozen Valley in Fortress. Now, there are a couple missions to do here. Obviously, you can do the command relay mission. This is a really good mission to get your energy activator mats at the same time, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Obviously, you can do the Valby outpost farm as well here. However, you're going to need a friend in a Sharen to stun the boss that spawns in the middle whenever you actually spawn him. That way, he doesn't move around and die, because he pretty much instantly dies. He's just a normal elite with very low health. You can take your Valby around in a circle there and get a lot of reactors if you want to go for Yujin and Valby here. Notably, I would say this is a Valby week because of how popular Valby is getting. This is going to be a really, really good week for Valby to farm here, for that first ability build that is becoming pretty popular in the game. And then Yujin, obviously, you know, always going to be decent. He's a really good support. Go for cooldown and duration with Yujin. As far as Valby, you can get 1 for bossing with Colossus damage and fusion boost, and then you can get 1 for mobbing with cooldown and obviously fusion boost. That's always what I'm going to recommend for the Valby mobbing build. And then again, Yujin, cooldown and duration. But that's the reactor for Yujin and Valby this week. Again, Frozen Valley in the Fortress. Wish you guys luck on that one. All right, and then next up, this is going to be for Lepic and Esiemo. This is going to be dropping from the Fortress, again, located in Converter Facility, another Valby Outpost farm. This is a really, really good one, and this is a Fire and Tech Reactor this week. So obviously, for Lepic, if you haven't received your God Roll Reactor, as far as mobbing, the rolls I'm going to recommend are going to be Cooldown and Tech Boost. However, if you want to go for more of a combo, just 1 Fire and Tech Reactor you can use for both Lepic and Esiemo. You can go for Fire Boost and Tech Boost. That way they can both use it. I do like the cooldown on Lepic, but I do not like the cooldown on Esiemo because of Creative Explosion. So really solid week there. Obviously for bossing, you're going to go with Colossus damage always, and then Tech Boost if you want more consistent damage. Obviously that's going to work for both Lepic and Esiemo. Again, that's 1 reactor for 2 Descendants. But if you want to do a little more damage if you want to rely on RNG a little bit more, you will get some pretty big damage out with Lepic. Obviously, he's not the best bosser anymore thanks to Hailey, but crit damage and Colossus will be very good on him for that bossing reactor. And this is a very good Valby Outpost farm. It's pretty easy to not kill the boss. So yeah, really solid week for Lepic and Esiemo for sure. I also quickly did want to mention on this one before we go to the next one, you absolutely can get Hailey's reactor to drop from here at the same time, which is also the best bosser in the game, obviously next to Lepic in most cases. So definitely keep a lookout for Hailey's reactor here when you're going for Lepics if you have not gotten Hailey's reactor yet, because it is a really, really good farm for Hailey's reactor as well. Wanted to put that in there really quickly. And then jumping over to another Fire Descendant, this is actually going to be for Blair. So we got pretty lucky this week. The last Valby Outpost farm in Fortress is going to be for Blair, the Fire and Dimension Reactor, as you can see there. Now, this is another Valby Outpost farm, and this time for Blair. So as far as bossing, I always recommend, obviously, Colossus damage. And then with Blair, he scales really well with crit damage. So we're going to go with crit damage. He has a really high base crit hit rate. He's not a very good bosser compared to anybody really right now, but he can get it done. As far as mobbing, though, you're going to want to go for critical hit damage and cooldown. That is personally what I like. You don't need to go for cooldown. You can go for dimension boost and critical hit damage. That's going to net you a ton of damage on Blair. And this is a really good time to prepare, potentially, again, disclaimer, speculation, for Ultimate Blair coming in Season 3. I know it's really far away, guys, but if you want to have a reactor ready, especially since reactor farming was recently buffed, this is a fantastic week to farm for Blair's reactor. And considering he will most likely be the Ultimate coming in Season 3. Again, speculation, not 100% confirmed yet. However, that is what most people are speculating. Yeah, really solid week for Blair and a very good farm to do it. Obviously, a Valby Outpost farm. So yeah, good luck this week for Blair. All right, and then next up is going to be for Freyna, dropping from White Knight Gulch, located in the Moongrave Basin this week. This is one that I'm personally going to be farming a ton of. Check me out live on Twitch, by the way. If you guys want to come by, I'll probably be farming this, maybe on Christmas Eve, but definitely after Christmas. By the way, happy holidays if you're into that kind of thing. Before I go off on a tangent too long, though, let's jump into the Toxic Tech Reactor dropping from Moongrave. This is going to be for Freyna. So as far as roles, I'm personally going for a tech boost and cooldown for mobbing with Freyna. I think that is going to feel the best. I think it's going to be pretty good. You can go for toxic and tech, obviously, if you want the extra damage. I like spamming a little bit more if I need to, so I like that extra cooldown. Also takes a solid chunk off of her ultimate ability whenever you do have that cooldown, whenever you're mobbing, if you need to get some burst priority damage out. And then as far as bossing, it's pretty much always going to be tech boost and Colossus damage, guys. There's no straying from that. That is the best one you can get. I still have yet to get a really solid one. As far as mounting, it really doesn't matter because we can implant now, but I would highly recommend trying to prioritize a general rounds weapon. So assault rifle, submachine gun, handgun, machine gun. All those would be really good because you get to use the Firing Fiesta mod with bossing, and that makes Freyna an absolute beast. I will probably be putting a video out going over that build with Freyna because it's an updated bossing build for Freyna, and it just goes so crazy. It's really fun. It does a lot of damage, and yeah, it's cool. Obviously, Freyna's already really good, but I definitely think she can get better with that. But yeah, that is Freyna's reactor. I wish you guys luck. I'll be there again this week for sure. All right, now we're going to go and do some honorable mentions. So notably, we have two. I just want to go over Keelan's really quickly. So there's two dropping for Keelan. Obviously, one from Echo Swamp this week in Misty Woods. It's a very good extermination mission. If you want to get your Keelan reactor, go for it. It's obviously not as good as a Valby Outpost farm or the Rockfall mission, but it is an extermination mission that is on the top of the list as far as speed when it comes to mob spawning, and you'll get a decent amount. And then also for Keelan, if you're trying to get him to start bossing, which he's not really amazing at yet, he can one-phase Executioner, but he can't really do anything to the other bosses unless you have a level 5 reactor. But his Toxic and Fusion reactor is dropping from White Knight Gulch at the shipment base. Now, the shipment base is a very good farm. It's a very solid farm, so I'm putting this in the honorable mention mainly because I don't think it's really worth it to farm a Fusion Toxic reactor for Keelan just yet until maybe something happens with him in the future. They did a buff, but I don't think his bossing capability is there with that focus on prey mod. As far as roles for Keelan, for singular, I love cooldown and range. I think that is my best in slot. However, Toxic boost and singular boost is also a really good way to go. Cooldown and singular boost, etc., etc., really good ways to go for Keelan. And then for the Fusion one, if you want to try doing Colossus, obviously you can do Colossus damage and Fusion boost. That's really the only way to go since he is not critting. But yeah, that is the reactor honorable mentions for Keelan this week. And this is the part where I want to hear from you guys down below. Let me know who you guys are going to be farming for this week as far as reactors go. Me personally, like I said, I'm going to be going a lot for Freyna's reactor because I still have yet to get a God roll or something that I'm happy with Freyna. Also might be spending a little bit of time with Lepic. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys are going to be going for. I'm super curious. Also, let me know if you think it's a good week, midweek, bad week as far as farming reactors. I am curious, but I appreciate the feedback as ever, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if it helped you. Don't forget to subscribe if you feel that I have earned it. Jump over to the description if you guys want to join the Discord, play with other people, play TFT with other people, and follow me on these socials in that description. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, week. Happy holidays if you're into that kind of thing. And I'm out of here, guys. Hope you enjoy the day. Peace out. Goodbye.